Yeah, today I want to talk about something that is considered to be a taboo subject in our society. You know what I'm saying? Why is it a taboo? That is my exact point right there. It's like one of the biggest shackles you can have around your consciousness is thinking that sometimes your nature is a sin. This is why religious cats live a life of misery because they suppress their own desires. You know what I'm saying? Now, during your spiritual awakening, your sexual health shall be completely restored. You know what I'm saying? In this video, I want to talk about how to. Actually, I was struggling with the title. You know what I mean? But the title, I'm still thinking about it. Will be something along the lines of how to restore your health, or yeah. Hello, people of the world. Welcome to Awaken the Ego. My name is Alula. I'm back with another video, and this video is a heavy subject. It's something to do with your sexual health. Now, when I look back at it, during this journey of spiritual awakening, for the whole 7 years, I was compatible sexually with different people. You know what I'm saying? Of the same, like of women, of course. Let me just put that out there. You know what I'm saying? But that let me know that my sexual health was my own projection onto other people. Now, I'm at a point in my life where I'm really not, that's not the priority in my life anymore. But I remember there was a time where sex was the things that I lived for. You know what I'm saying? And I also want to make this video around removing the taboo from this subject. Now, before I go any further, let me just drop something serious out here that people don't really say out loud. Now, the people that you are attracted to sexually, as weird as it seems sometimes, these people even resemble your parents. Now, the second thing I also want to say is, like, the more trauma that you have faced in your life is the more likely that you be promiscuous in your life. You know what I'm saying? But now, in order for you to restore your sexual health, guys, during your awakening, spiritual awakening, you're gonna have to remove the taboo, the shame, out of these things that out of your sexual or out of your desires. Now, let's talk about what happens when you suppress your desires. This is why religion, guys, is so effective in controlling people. It's like they use your nature against you. Now, even if you thought, let's say, even if you thought about a person that you're not married to sexually, you're committing a sin. You know what I'm saying? They say God does not approve of these things. Or it could be something like a society. A person is really attracted to one kind of a person, but then because of his family or conditioning of society, whatever, he's forced to be with another. Now this creates a suppressed sexual desire. Now what happens when you suppress something? It goes underground, it builds, and then it explodes. You see what I'm saying? Now this is the reason why many people commit crimes behind sex. You see what I'm saying? In fact, most of the problems people have is around relationships, which is tied to sex. Now, what I will tell you on this, based on my experience, is like, actually, let me just share this. You see what I'm saying? Around my 20s, like for the 10 years, like in my youth, I have done a lot of experiment, you know what I'm saying, around the world, like Brazil, Africa, United States, all over, experimenting on this very thing. I didn't know what I was doing was liberating myself sexually. You know what I'm saying? Since I didn't suppress my sexual desires, I went out there and experienced it safely. You know what I'm saying? Then it wasn't suppressed. And nowadays, I'm so far away from that kind of a thought. Now, restoring your sexual health during your spiritual awakening asks of you to remove the shame out of your desires, as long as you're not hurting anybody else. Why should you be ashamed of how you feel? You shouldn't, guys. And let me tell you something. That is the beginning of restoring your sexual health, is to remove the sin, the inappropriateness, you know what I'm saying, or society's conditioning from your own projection. Alright, let's move on to the second point. How do you go about restoring your sexual health? In fact, this was my story for the first year of the spiritual awakening. It's like I went monk mode. I began to experiment with what we call semen retention. I closed the doors from sexual stimulations. Even though it was so hard at the beginning, all the built up energy, but I was learning how to handle all that energy without being too stimulant. You know what I'm saying? And then that began to change the relationship that I have with women. Also, it changed the way I began to see women. I began to see sex. What I mean by this, it's like, through, I guess, like the conditioning of porn and all that kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's like we're being programmed to see certain women as sexual objects, but nothing else. Now, restoring your sexual health requires for you to change the way you view women, particularly, or if the way you view man. You see what I'm saying? Instead of looking at somebody through just a sexual object, and to realize that that's a whole person with emotions and feelings. You know what I'm saying, guys? But going to a monk mode, in my opinion, at 90 days, you know what I mean, of this will help you restore your sexual health during your spiritual awakening. One of the most interesting things about when I went on a semen retention journey, I was like, man, my stimulant became more powerful. After, like, I had no action for the whole year. When I look back at it, sex was much more exciting, stimulating. You know what I'm saying? And I was also having sex with these women in a different way, if you know what I'm saying. Like before. Anyway, let me just leave it there. Let's move on to the last point. How do you go about restoring your sexual health during your spiritual awakening? Is to accept your desires. You know what I'm saying? You like what you like, as long as you're not hurting anybody else. The moment you accept yourself, you know what I'm saying? Let me tell you something. You have just freed yourself from sexual slavery. Let me close this video by sharing this story. One of the realest thing I heard a rapper say ever, when he was talking about his mom, he said, "You mean to tell me for all these years you are attracted to somebody else, but then you're with somebody else?" It's like, what would you do that to yourself? Why would you just not accept yourself